Hey y'all. If you are out there, say hello. We are talking Greenleaf. Episode 5, the 5th day. Lots and lots and lots of stuff to talk about. So when y'all are out there, say what's up. And we will go on ahead and get the discussion started. I have my sister Season and my cousin Brittany. It's the same crew here to talk about this new episode. Hey MD Turp, hey Melanie, hey Next Day. So listen, we will have spoilers. So if you're watching this episode, if you're watching this recap, then you're gonna know everything that happened. Okay, Jed. We're not just talking around the bush. We are actually talking about what happened. Hey Cheryl. Hey KS. Okay, y'all in the comments, leave a comment and tell us what you thought about today's episode. Was it a thumbs up for you or was it a thumbs down? Ladies, y'all give your ratings of tonight's show. What are y'all, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of like to the side today.
To the side? Yeah. Okay, in the comments, what are y'all saying about today's show? Hey, Christina Peppies says, hey, Reese, don't watch Greenleaf. Just want to say Reese receipts. Well, thank you. Thank you. I thought today's episode was half up, half down. KS says rated down. Okay. So, people weren't overly feeling it today. Melanie says it was pretty good, not great. I finally gave AJ some props this episode. Yeah, I thought AJ, they did a little something with his character for a change this episode. Cheryl says it was good, not great. KS says humdrum depression. Hey Yvonne, first time tuning in, Angel. Okay, so there was a lot going on. Okay, there was so much going on, and I don't know if we're at the halfway mark, but my frustration, and without getting into so much detail, Ashley is in the chat Season. Hey Ashley,
what up?
Is that I feel like they're still introducing so many new aspects instead of like kind of wrapping up some things. Brittany, you're nodding yes. What were your overall thoughts about this episode?
Yeah, this today's episode was all over the place for me. And I did feel like what we know about the show coming to a close. I'm like, okay, don't get us, too all over the place looking for more answers that you probably can't provide with.
Yes, exactly.
With substance. So I was a little frustrated and I felt like it started off so slow.
Yeah, I can see that. Season, what was your thing? What was your thinking overall about this episode?
I feel like it didn't move any of the plots forward. I mean, it was like, okay, you still got miserable ass married couple having their issues. Way too many scenes with Zora and Sofia. They are so useless to the show. What the fuck is up with Charity trying to call the dad and he still, it's just nothing there. This was like, everything was like, nothing moved forward. I'm like, all right, so what did we learn this episode? Nothing.
Right. Cheryl says, feels that in his 2 minutes is annoying. I will say, AJ used to be my least favorite part of the show, but Mr. Shabazz is definitely my least favorite part of the show. What is the point of his scenes? He sits up there and Linda says, it's my first time here. I'm confused. I need to go back and see what I missed. So we're talking about Greenleaf. This is season 5, episode 5. Tonight's episode just aired on OWN Network. So if you don't watch Greenleaf, you're definitely not going to know what we talk about. It's going to sound like completely crazy to y'all. But what is the point? Like,
where are we going with all this?
And he really is not compelling. He's not interesting. He's like, you have 2 minutes. And he had this weird, river flows one way. I'm like, what are you talking about, guy? Like, I really want them to come up with something else. But you guys didn't see the preview for next week. he's gonna show up, I guess, and have a conversation with Charity, which to me seems very left field because of the fact that he's been so belligerent and cooperative. Couldn't you have just had a conversation on the phone instead of showing up and making a big deal about it? But
very dry for no reason whatsoever. It's just like, it's annoying at this point. Like,
okay. Yeah. Linda says, okay. Linda says, I'm watching each episode but confused. Okay, so we're gonna unpack everything. Unpack everything that happened tonight, Linda. So keep stick with us so we can all figure the stuff out together. Yeah. Okay. MD Terp says this week's episode felt like a transition to final episodes. Okay, I can see a little bit of transition in there, maybe. A lot going on, but no real wow scenes. Yes, I think Basie's sister reappearing at the end was, oh shit, here we go moment. I agree, we're gonna get to that. I know you guys want to talk about Rochelle. Pop it up. She definitely put a different twist on everything. Like we built up, and then when Rochelle shows up at the end, we know, all that shit's out the window. Yeah, but but let me just read a couple more comments and then we're gonna go to our normal breakdown. I'm not gonna talk about specific scenes because we're gonna get to that. He is a Muslim, very on edge. They do very, very stereotypical portrayals of people right on this show, okay? You can't wait to see what Daddy knows. Yes, can't wait to see what Daddy knows and does because his right now's attitude is too much. He's the key to get the church back, I think. Ashley says they definitely tried to soften Charity by finally having her be a mom in the scene.
Oh.
Unpack why. Cheryl says unpack why Charity's child is still a baby. He has to be at least 3. Okay. So people want to talk about Charity. Let's start with Charity. Okay. So Charity had this scene with Phil. Or Shabazz or whatever his name is, completely pointless. She got nothing out of it. But I think it's good that she's at least trying to help. I thought, and you guys tell me if I'm being overly sensitive here, but I thought it was a little insensitive for her to call over Zora and Sofia to babysit her baby, even though I'm thinking she's probably not thinking anything of it. And then it was also Zora, but then once Zora walks away, it looked like there was some awkwardness there because Sofia can't have a kid. Was I misreading that, or was that more about all the titty pic drama that Sofia had? Am I out base? Y'all tell me in the comments. Was it the titty pic or was it the ovary situation?
Time with somebody and be like, I'll be right back. Watch this baby. So
yeah. I was awkward too. Like, what is this about? But I think it's just the fact that it probably, the way they position her, she never has this like family interaction with her kid anyway. So it's
that's true.
It's awkward in itself, but then I do think that Sophia's mind is probably everywhere, and she's like, okay, what y'all want me to do? Really? Teenage, like in that age, you're like, okay, you might be a little awkward already anyway. But I didn't get why they made it like that. So strange.
Yeah. Okay,
I was focused on Sofia and Zora. I thought you meant like, was it weird that she asked her to watch the baby? No, that part wasn't weird, but I guess I just didn't really read into that. I ignore them when they get on the scene. I'm sorry, so I won't comment.
So you're not okay. So let's talk. So Cherry didn't have a whole lot going on, but let's say, okay, she was trying to be auntie and they were like, girl, bye. Then she, was being motherly for 5 seconds before she was like, come watch his baby, to go have a conversation, which sound like she told Shabazz her whole life story. And he was like, that's more than 2 minutes. See you later. Bye. But what Charity did do, and I know I'm skipping around in terms of the timeline, she did get them all together I did love her singing. It's been a long time since we've seen Deborah Joy Ryan singing on the show. She has an amazing voice. And I thought that was a really beautiful way to start the show. But I did also like that she got everybody together to go to the church. So that's the extent of really what Charity contributed.
I like seeing her in something other than black and off the shoulder. She looked cute in that scene. Yeah. She had the little hairpins and she was singing.
Oh yeah, was she singing? Yeah. But she did.
Her character too.
But she did have off the shoulder black top at the end of the episode.
At the end, I know they have it all.
They're trying to show her effort, you know, to be a part of the family. You can tell they're trying their like, because I know it can't be like an overnight, like I'm just crazy about my family because she's been so like, but you could see the little details that they're trying to make her feel like she's bridging the gap a little bit and getting her grace on, you know.
Yeah, and I'm ready to move on from Charity's treacherous ways. I think she's on board fully with the family, which is where she should have been from the whole jump. A couple of comments about Charity's attire. Somebody said, "Can we talk about how short?" Ashley says, "Can we talk about how short that dress was?" Emily Turp says that short dress on Charity was banging. I was like, "Come on, legs." Let me tell you, Charity stays lotioned up and moisturized.
That's right.
She have short outfits on, everything glistening, everything glistening. Right. Baby is moisturized if nothing else. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about Sofia. All right. So Sofia is having tit pic drama. I personally in 2020 think that is it that big of a deal? Like, I don't know. To me, listen, if I had a daughter and her titties were over the internet, I would be like, girl, so the fuck what? You know what I'm saying? I would be like, girl, I know you're not gonna let these bitches run you out from school because your titties on the internet. Play his F up. And that would have been that. Like, you gotta instill a little bit more confidence in her. Like, you know what? Yeah, my tits look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I understand the trauma behind it, but I also think like it's 2020. Like, you really aren't getting shamed out of school like that. At least I don't know. Or am I just too old? Because I feel like our age group, we a little more gangster than these young kids, right? What do you think, Brittany?
You know, for me, it's like you got to get over it. But I understand. I feel like now kids are so emotional about things that I wouldn't have cared about, you know. And I know that her character is painted as very modest, so I could understand how it would, you know, overwhelm her and make her think that, you know, whatever image she has is, you know, shattered. But at this point, like when he hit her with that advice, like let's talk about something that you can control.
Right.
You know, right. That was the realest thing ever, because you gotta let it go. You know, right. I just wanted to make sure D looked right in it. You know, was it on point?
Okay, in the comments, what do y'all think? Are titty pics a big deal for a college age student in 2020? Y'all let me know. Hey, Deborah. Season, what are you thinking about that?
Well, you already know her character confuses me. I don't know what she going through. You know, I didn't watch the season when she lost her ovaries. So, you know, I'm just not invested in her. But no, have y'all seen these little girls at the club? You know, they go to the club with no bra on and a sheer shirt. Like, that's the thing. They be on Instagram with the whole half of the boob out. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It definitely shouldn't run nobody up out of school. Like, right. She's a pretty girl. She can flip that if she wanted to, but I didn't feel like it dedicated 2 scenes tonight. They dedicated 2 scenes to this titty pic situation.
And the last time too, yeah. Cheryl says it is if you come from a whole family of pastors. But yeah, this family of pastors got a lot of other stuff going on that's worse than titty pics on the internet. Okay.
And then they don't even know. Okay. It's not like it's reached the family yet. Only Zora knows. So I could see if her whole family knew and she was shamed, but
yeah.
No.
It has to come out though. I see that they are trying to let her language pick up. You know, she was
bitches at school.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, what? That is so not her usually. So I didn't understand why this episode she was like passive and aggressive throughout the kind of the scenes for me.
If you're that upset about it, just be like, you know, that's Photoshop. That ain't me.
Oh yeah, you could do that too. That ain't even me. Somebody, why? Deny. It never fails to deny. Okay, oh, you
it depends on who body it is, because I'm gonna say it's me. If it look good, it's gonna be me.
I would just be like, you're a sicko for photoshopping your ass. Hashtag this, like, yeah, I would definitely, women know how to deny some shit they totally guilty.
Right.
You need to work on that a little bit, okay? But you know what? Maybe she should have tell her mom the truth, because apparently Grace is about that life. Consecration Sunday, they wore that out, huh? Consecration Sunday. Either you didn't catch that.
Do you know how many of these kids be fucking at church? Come on. I know a couple.
I'm trying to tell you, them shut-ins be shut in.
Show at all to me. That sounded all right.
Yeah, that didn't shock me. I said, "Oh, okay." We knew.
Yeah.
We knew they was laying hands.
Literally. Well, you don't know. I'm like, okay, no, you really wanted to. They both seem interested in reminding each other of this whole Consecration Sunday.
Right.
But let me just read a couple more comments. I'm gonna return to that. Ashley says it's Free the Nipple campaign every other day on IG. She definitely seems dramatic with the titty pic. Life crisis of imagery of character. Ben Burnmore says invasion of privacy. Sofia is sensitive. Well, I showed my years after college. Go titties. Daryl says this last season sucks. Just remember the show is written by a white man. Go figure.
What? Wait a minute.
I don't know if it's written by a white man, but I know that they always say if you want to see more behind the scenes, here's some white guy. I've never clicked on it because it's a white guy. But yeah.
Now,
I don't know who writes the show. I haven't fact checked that. Deborah says, I think AJ gave Sofia great advice. She's usually low key, but I could understand why she got upset. Okay, so let's talk about AJ. I'm gonna return to Noah and Grace, but let's talk about AJ for a second. AJ finally came into a little bit more of his own. I think now that cloud is lifted from him, and it's just not this like brooding, like just like really down and weird energy with him. He seems more confident. And I really liked his interactions with pretty much everybody this episode. It really stood out to me, his interaction with Bishop. Brittany, what did you think about the whole car thing and how, Bishop really, really reached out to AJ and tried to really connect with him?
I love that. I was happy to see him get in a space where he received the love, because he's just this whole time he's just been in a place of rejection. Like, I don't want it's like that person who come to the party with you but don't want to do none of the stuff that's fun. It's like, okay, what did you come here for? Right. So finally to see him have like that moment with Bishop and just like give advice from an openness and be a brother and just like show some different layers of him. I'm like, okay, we could keep him around. The one thing I did think my husband said his shirt was terrible. After all of that, he wanted to wear that shirt and do the talking. So I was like, okay,
Noah will be more put together. So I don't know why that. But I guess it's one night. I guess you can't change everything in one night.
That's right.
But what really stood out to me was just the whole metaphor about the car and the GTO, my dream car, and season. How Bishop said Faith. Bishop's dad told him that faith without works is dead, and so it's actually really surprising to me though that Bishop never even opened the box of this car that he's dreamed of. But I do like that it seems like that he's not making AJ out to be a charity case. And I think that's a big deal with AJ of not wanting to feel that way. Season, what was your take on that?
I love that scene. I like Bishop. All my favorites was with him in it. So I guess it's just nice to see AJ actually like be open to just receiving anything. Like, he just fights so much. It's like a little because obviously they not finna show no interactions between just him and Noah. So I don't even know what that like. It's like they just all right, well, let him just go off on with Noah. We don't have nothing to do with him in this scene. So it's like, if he gonna be around, let's see a little growth, or let's see him actually open up. But I'm just surprised because like, he only been out the hospital like a day, so it's just, he seems like he's coming along well, but it's like, so that's interesting to me. But I like that scene, and I hope he gonna put that little car together, and
that would be
or maybe they'll open it up and it'll be put together. Bishop said he never even opened the box.
Yeah, that would be crazy, wouldn't it? But I agree. I definitely think that he showed growth. Now, how realistic is that amount of growth in a day or two? That we're gonna park that. But I think that they showed growth, and I think it's interesting that he has a very good read on what's going on. Like, first of all, calling out that these people are too damn old to be living in their parents' house. And basically, like, you have to grow up and you have to move on. I thought he was very helpful to Sofia. And so I liked AJ this episode. I don't mind him sticking around. I'm glad he didn't go ahead and die from his attempt. I'm going to read some of these comments. Ashley, returning to the white guy, said, is it really? That would definitely explain the colorism stereotypes in the show. Jermaine says, I've never watched the show, but this recap is hilarious, and I have a friend that recurred on prior seasons. Who's your friend, Jermaine? Ashley says, I think they're being irresponsible with the fantasy of his mental health recovery. So yeah, like we're saying, it's super unrealistic that he was like suicidal 3 days ago, and now he's like giving out brotherly advice, and that's fine. But for the sake of the show, I guess we're gonna ignore how unrealistic that is. Yeah. KS says AJ Grim Reaper opening up more. Angels.
Damn.
He has been, at least, maybe not Grim Reaper, but Debbie Downer. Love the bond. Andrew says, love the bond time with Bishop. Finally seen a smile and excitement on his face. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Burnmore says, my heart was all with their moment. Definitely a no on the shirt. Bishop is calming between and after the storm. I love, like, season. Awesome. To your point, Bishop is my favorite person in every scene with Brittany, right?
Yes, I love
it. Let's talk about, so we've talked about AJ, we've talked about Sofia, we've talked about Charity. Let's talk about Bishop.
Yeah.
I love the scene about the church scene, right? Church. And Karissa is turned up. Okay. Karissa is not happy about, Jacob. I thought she had found some dignity the last episode, but apparently back from her dignified and indignant stance.
Yeah.
And she still doesn't seem to want to accept that Jacob is over it. Girl, he over it. Bye. See you later. Bye. But she was turned at Lady May's sermon, right? Or prior to the sermon. And I just love how Bishop, he really knows how to be like, and the way that he checked Karissa. Brittany, what was your reaction to that?
I loved it. When he said, focus on what Jesus has done for you. I said, we all need a bishop in our life that's going to give you a little word, hush you up, but in love. I'm telling you, I call it the Michael Jackson edition, with love, but you're going to do it. You're going to shut it. But he has that relationship. He's been able to have that relationship with everybody.
He does.
He can calm every situation. And I love that he's direct, he's stern, but he is so loving, where it's like, okay, I could take a little criticism for you because I know, you're gonna tell me something that's gonna upgrade me, and just I just love the way that they have. And we needed that for a Black character.
Yes.
Character. We needed that openness, the approach. I just love how they did it. But he shut her down. He got a little Lady May. He married to her for a reason, but he keep it nice and strong, but still soft though.
And to your point about the love part, did you guys notice that they held hands? And so Karissa Karissa took that with love. You know, she was like, okay, you know, I ain't gonna get turned. And he also checked Jacob too, which I did appreciate. Like, you hush up to it, you know, you don't need to get buck over here. Right. But he's every episode we've seen that really critical moment where he has been, to somebody's point, the calm in the storm, and he has been loving in his authority. He's the patriarch, he's the one that everybody looks up to, but he does it in a way that, you know, it snaps people out of whatever the situation is. Yeah. But I know season is your least favorite topic, but let's talk about Karissa and Jacob. So again, dignity out the window again. Now she back to begging. D says, please stop begging. Jermaine, though, let me go back to what he said. He said his friend was Carlton and his name is Parnell. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, and Melanie says, I've been hollering for the last couple of seasons, wondering why all these adults live together. AJ finally said what I say to the screen all the time. Well, do y'all see that big old nice ass house living rent free? I wouldn't even be mad at that either, chick.
Look, okay, they got their own little thing going on, but it is too much.
You got a maid, you got a cook,
right?
And it's free. It's free 99. Yeah. Half of them are single, except for Jacob. Now, Jacob and Karissa don't make sense, but Grace is single. Charity's a single mom, even though her husband was living there. But you get my point. I don't think it's that weird, but, you know, the point is the fact that they just never gone off on their own. That's where I think it just seems like it's regressive. Melanie says Bishop is great. Burnmore says hush up with love. Bishop shook Karissa up. She was being a sour apple. He checked both of them with love. Okay. Karissa and Jacob. So Jacob is totally done, totally over it. And so they approach this conversation. I thought it was really weird how they had Zora kind of be like, it's not your fault. And that whole transition to me was very weird. And I thought that her reaction was also a little weird. Brittany, what was your reaction to them breaking the news and how they chose to break the news?
I was so annoyed that they painted the picture like we have breaking news. Like a blind man could see that you guys do not like each other. You're at odds with each other. And if your child has grown up in the house as she has, we know she didn't see the maid and coming in and out and doing some stuff. You know, like kids are not like dumb. So, you know, I didn't appreciate also how she was okay with, you know, dad looking like the bad guy. And then finding out that mom had some other stuff. It was like, that was the turning point for her. Like, that's when she was at her utmost, like, disgusted. It was weird, you know, the crying tears.
Maybe it's easier to accept that this is what has always been jacked up versus, like, you know, it's complicated too, because it's like, okay, wait a minute. So both of y'all was doing wrong. Were you doing wrong this whole time? Or is this something new? And then, so that's complicated. Ashley says, the question is, why would you have told yourself to your child the way Karissa did with Zora season? If your husband had cheated on you as many times as Jacob did, is he going out looking like the asshole? Or are you going to fall on your sword and take some accountability for what you did?
Oh, he the asshole for sure.
Brittany.
And when Jacob tried to be like, well, your mama cheated too. Lies, deceit.
I'm perfect. I'm not doing what? See, I would have told on myself, like, well, yeah, you know, mom.
Daddy a lying hoe.
Wait, remember did y'all watch the Brattas? You spread it wide and spread it low. Like, yeah, Mama Evelyn all up in there. She's like, oh no, you ain't.
Look,
I'm gonna be like, you know how they be like, well, your mind already made up, so just believe what you want to believe. That's how I would be.
They ain't about to tell you yes believe or no.
I didn't do that to your daddy.
Whatever your spirit told you, okay?
Brittany, you're definitely not confessing.
Oh, I would have confessed.
You would have.
I would have confessed, but based on the reaction of her, I would have been like, oh, because she was so disappointed, you know.
Yeah.
I cracked up when she said, look, just know that he is not the full blame. I said, oh, not with the handhold. I said, Lord, she said, I don't care what happens, but I didn't do nothing. The details don't matter. I mean, but I would have been.
She only did
details don't matter, right?
I mean, she only did that to try and get Jacob to see that she's really sorry, and it wasn't like for, I mean, what was the purpose? So no, I wouldn't have said nothing to my daughter. I mean, that might have been a conversation later on when, say, she was going through her own troubles in a marriage or with the guy who's cheating on her all the time. And then it's like, well, let mama sit you down and tell you a story.
Right.
Girl, that ain't none of her business. She ignorant as hell. She don't know how to talk to nobody. Zora.
Yeah.
She a loose cannon. She's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And I would have wanted that conversation to be over as quickly as possible. Like Brittany said, this ain't breaking news. Y'all miserable.
Right.
All y'all fight. She don't even want to be up in this house with y'all. She done moved to the cabin down the walkway. Like she tired of y'all. So just break the news and let her go on about her business. What did they think she was gonna say?
Most families gonna do all of that anyway, though, because I'm still finding out stuff about my daddy. Okay, so I'm like, where they sit down and have a little church,
me
talk.
What black child ain't?
I said, wait, they going to counseling to go break the news. What? Oh, okay.
Hey, Boopy, Binky,
Blinky, Beepy. I said,
Winky.
well,
Wink.
Ain't nobody told me nothing. Okay, I'm still figuring it out.
Listen, I feel sorry for anybody who is breaking news to them that their parents ain't shit, because people go through stuff, especially in relationships. If you girl putting your parents on the pedestal, you definitely in for a rude awakening, because that is a mess. But okay, I'm gonna read some of these. Listen, but I will say this. I'm a little bit more on seasoned side here. I would be like, who said that? Well, if oh, Dad, we know it's you. I would be like, I would be like this. I would say nothing. He would have to be that. He'd have to be like, so you just gonna leave me? Leave me where? Leave you where? You have to answer to your daughter. See, that would have been me. I would have been brand new. Was not gonna be no confessions. Not gonna be no confessions. Sorry. But let me read some of these comments. I had to go back just a little bit. Melanie's funny. Melanie said I would have been charging my kids. So she is not for the free rent, even in the mansion, okay? Turf says, I love intergenerational living. That's how all the families on the soaps do it when they have mansions. That's true. The parents live with their grown children with their kids, keep all the money in one house. That's true. Burnmore, y'all, said, different when your mama a hoe. That's society's views.
That's me dying, okay? I can't.
Yay. Okay. Mama was a hoe.
Your mama a hoe. I used to be fighting words. Your mama's a hoe. Anyway, yeah. Well, you know what? If Karissa's a hoe, just wait till next week when Lady May confesses. Oh, y'all didn't see the preview. Yeah, she gonna tell. Bishop is like, oh, why don't you start by confessing your sins? And it made it seem like Lady May was gonna confess that Grace is an illegitimate baby. I wonder if that will change Jacob. Like, well, you didn't have a whole ass 40-year-old on my ass. Or if he gonna be like, oh, you bitches ain't shit. I definitely get divorced right now. STD or break baby. I don't know. But Bishop was doing his thing too. Let's not forget that. Anyway, Rhea says cheating is totally American and acceptable by most Americans, tolerated in the Black community as well.
Say what now? Who said that? Who said that?
Okay, I'm gonna repeat it. Rhea said cheating is totally American and acceptable by most Americans, tolerated in the Black community as well.
Is she Black?
Yeah, real black.
Man,
You said what?
has she ever met an African man?
I'm gonna move on. We're not gonna get into a debate about
Ever seen Snap?
I mean, let me tell
Snap.
you.
Yeah.
Where these bitches shoot the club up because a nigga been fucking his secretary. Come on now, girl. Come on now.
I think that cheating is the thing a lot of people do. I don't know how acceptable it is. I think it's more acceptable to be oh, you're cheating on your wife with me. Like that's acceptable to the mistress or to the man. What is it with the guy? The mister, the mistress, they don't even have a name for the guy. The male hoe. Okay. But a lot of people definitely don't. If you cheating on somebody, you can't just be like, well, I'm just cheating on you, bitch, get over it. Like that ain't normally how it goes.
That's not acceptable usually.
Yeah.
No. I've been there before where a nigga was like, well, I'm just gonna cheat on you sometimes. Okay, well, guess who gonna cheat too? So what we finna do? We divorced and I'm happily married to someone else. Look, baby, cheating may have been more acceptable in previous generations, but we starting to change that. We kind of give a fuck about who our husbands and spouses are laying with. We not really finna go for that no more. A lot of women would just rather be by themselves. You can do bad all by yourself. You don't have to lay with a man who gon'. Anyways, she wrong. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I could say that I totally believe that if one person cheats, then like you said, we just have an open relationship at this point. We breaking up because you for damn sure not about to cheat on me, and I'm not cheating on your ass. Who does that? No, definitely not. But don't cheat. It's simpler, but you just keep y'all two boom, keep it tight, keep it locked.
Don't do it.
Spirit Burnmore says Spirit told Jacob you don't love your wife a long time ago. I know. And he looked miserable around. I don't know what Karissa is caught up on about. Wasn't Lady May supposed to get Zora right?
What? No.
Remember she was counseling her because she had ran off with the boy and all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, it didn't really stick that well. But I don't know. Zora isn't that bad, but Zora's just always had a smart ass mouth. But look at her mama. Her mama got a smart mouth too. So I think she kind of gets it honest.
Yeah.
Zora spoiled ass needs to get going with her life. Yeah, I don't know. If your parents are miserable, they're cheating on each other, go ahead and break up. I wouldn't have been crying like that, but I don't know.
She was hurt.
Divorce in our family has never been a bad thing.
I was asking the effects of that. I'm like, well, is it that heavy? Because I didn't see my parents together really, but I'm like, wow, she lost it. And I'm like, she just mentioned it was toxic, so I didn't understand.
Maybe she was crying over her mama being
hurt or having to restart, because she did mention that, like, who you gonna get now? Like the some old dude.
She said some old dude, like, whoa.
Yeah, she hit her with that. Like, dang.
You had very little faith in your mama. Your mama was out there getting her back blown out by an Italian 2 weeks ago and got hurt. So she could pull somebody. Just make sure you wrap it up, Karissa. Hello, you out there raw dogging it with Italians. Yeah, you
out of line for you. She's useless. What's Zora finna? Nothing.
Moving along. Wait, Bramore said American. It's a global experience. MD Turp says, I'm waiting to see if Charity spiteful ass throws it in GD's face. Like, you're not even a Greenleaf. I swear I'd be fighting Charity in that lake like Crystal B. Alexis on Dynasty. I don't think Charity would do that. Cheating is common, but definitely not accepted. Get caught and find out. Entanglements are not accepted. Rhea again doubling down. She said, "We pretend, but we ignore, or you're right, we divorce. Open is in Americas." Okay. Angel says, "Why she gotta be a hoe though? She had one dude, Jacob, a slutty boy, and got the nerve to be one and done on Karissa. Yeah, I agree. I never called Karissa a hoe.
He's not a hoe.
Somebody said your mama's a hoe.
That was somebody. Okay, yeah, that was somebody else. Okay, yeah. I don't think it's sad that we treat women, they emotionally abused. She really thought that she was gonna get somebody to like her and love her. She wouldn't expect no STD, She was getting built up.
Yeah.
She got broke down.
Yeah.
Like I tell clients, STDs happen to the best of us. You can be married and your husband come home with one. You ain't did nothing day life. An STD, that is not indicative of what type of person you are. If you deserve, I have to have this conversation with my patients a lot. So I don't think
very, very great point. I hope y'all heard that in the comments. Yes, we are definitely pro woman getting their groove on. I'm not, no judgments on anybody calling her. I'm not calling her out. Let's see. I'm still trying to figure out if Karissa got burned because she didn't make Fernando use the condom or if she got it from rapping on the mic. Caesar, you're the nurse. STDs don't come.
Rapping on the mic, it would have been in her throat.
Right. That's what I thought. Okay.
Chlamydia and gonorrhea in your throat, people. It's possible.
You can get gonorrhea in your throat?
You can get gonorrhea and chlamydia in your throat. Yeah, you can. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Just throw it away.
No, it's fascinating.
But you're not a bad person.
Not a bad person, still.
Just kidding. The whole mouth. Just throw the whole mouth away.
Girl says, I'm going to rob my cheating husband and tit for tat is tacky. Well, cheating in the first place is tacky. So I guess we're going to be tacky and we going to cheat and be tacky together. What do you think? Rhea's still on this cheater stuff. Tony says, I like to join the chat if y'all don't mind. You're welcome to join. We talk about Greenleaf more or less. Rhea says, what do you think about women having more than one mate or husband? Plural isn't honestly.
What is she talking about? Girl, what's next? What's the next? We ain't fooling.
You make up whatever arrangement that works for you, but make sure everybody's on board with whatever arrangement you had. Don't be out there lying to people.
Secrets, no lie. Yeah, don't get your windows busted out and drugged down the street.
So everybody sees it. Everybody is tripping on this in the throat thing. Okay. So Ashley says in the throat. So what's those symptoms?
Sore throat, itchiness, like, feeling like you have to clear your throat. When you look in the back of it, I've swabbed throats with gonorrhea. It's gag worthy, like literally. It's like you can pull the slime off of it. But really, just like a sore throat, itchiness, you might have a little bit of a fever. But yeah, you can, if you go to a real STD clinic, you can get swabbed. They can take a urine sample, they can do a rectal swab, and they can do a throat swab. But yes, mainly sore throat and like itchiness and like, irritation in your throat.
Mm-hmm. Slimy throat.
Yeah, if you look in the back, like you can see mucus and whatever. Yeah.
So you guys have just gotten a free STD consultation. This is great.
No, you will not have you will not have sores in your throat if it's chlamydia and gonorrhea.
Oh.
But it would just be sore.
A sore throat, yeah.
It would be
like a dirty COVID.
COVID throat.
Yeah, a dirty and slippery COVID.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ashley says, man, so I could think it's the Rona and it'd be the renal. Oh my God. Yeah, I think a lot of people are traumatized by this discussion. MD Turp says as many mics as I rapped on in college alone, it's a miracle I didn't get some STD in my throat.
Look,
As many mics.
You might have had one. You
might have been taking some throat coat and had a whole ass shit going on. God damn.
had it somewhere else and got treated for it, then that would have cleared it up in your throat as well. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh.
Do that one more time.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no.
Okay. We've really gone on a very long time in this. Okay. So let's close it out. We talked about Karissa and Jacob. We've had a whole sex education lesson. Burnmore says, "Nurse sister, you're terrifying us." Listen, y'all asked the question, and so we're
only here to help.
We're here to help. We're here to help. This is, you know what? if y'all catch me on my lives, it's called Unbossed and Unfiltered. This is Greenleaf Unfiltered. Maybe we should call it Greenleaf Unfiltered from now on. I'm gonna change it to Greenleaf Unfiltered Recap, because that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Lady Mae. Lady Mae, we're gonna wrap this up. Lady Mae had her sermon, but she went straight from sermon to villain, right? She was gonna go down to that church and confront the girl. And when she got up there, she, apparently it's something that happened when they crossed them little raggedy gates of that mission. Okay, Tony says, "Are men allowed to be on camera? Members of the conversation, I'd like to join on camera." Well, I'm doing it through Zoom and I don't know you. And so I'm not just going to invite a person that I don't know into the conversation right now in the middle of our conversation. But what you can do is leave your comments and we will respond to them. But I do these conversations with people that we have a rapport with, because it's just better that way. And I don't really have time to be coordinating a whole bunch of random people. And I don't say random in a pejorative way, but just to let you know, that's how this whole conversation works. But it's very interactive. You may not be on camera. It's not a men versus women thing. It's just a matter of it's a chemistry, it's a rapport thing. Okay. But anyways, come on, let me just continue this thought. So she was immediately converted with to me, I wasn't easily impressed with this speech, because my whole thing is, okay, so if she does give a girl a house, how's she gonna pay for it? Because she sat up there and said she don't take no money from her parishioners. So how you gonna pay for this big old estate just because at some point somebody wrote in some will that's not legally enforceable that it should have went to your daddy who's long gone? Come on, y'all. What do you think about Lady Mae's sudden conversion to come to Jesus moment of we need to give this house up? Brittany, I'll start with you first.
I think that she is probably tired of things failing and always being at its worst. And I think she's in a space where she's like, okay, maybe if we do things right, we'll be blessed. Sometimes people think they can position themselves to be like, okay, let's I don't want nothing, holding me back. I don't want to think about it. Did this happen because of this? So she's trying to create a clean slate. Yeah. I think it's just more of her conscious of what they've all done as a family, more than it is about the house. Because I don't even think that any of them are thinking it through. She wants the house, knows that it's hers, and wants to fight for it. But then she has that thing like, I've lost everything that I had already. So should we just give it up now? That's kind of where I feel like she's emotional about where her family is already, and kind of like making decisions, it looks like to me, from a defeated place. You
think it's coming from a defeated place?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I think that for starters, she has a lot of faith, and she does want to move forward with a clean slate. She's looking at it as a rise from the ashes type thing, where it's like, it doesn't matter what we lose, we can still rise up. We we can get our church back, and we can get a bigger and better house. And like Brittany said, if we do things right, we gonna keep getting blessed. So, I don't know what was really said or what she saw that gave her this awakening, like, oh, let's just give the house away. And because I didn't feel like old girls, I didn't feel like her speech of what she would do with the house was that convincing. But it's still like, I'm like, I think it's more of like a clean slate, rise from the ashes. Like, and then she's tired of fighting. They've been doing all this plotting and all this other shit with, and it hasn't worked out. And she's just like, let it go. Let's just start over.
Yeah, I think that's another way of almost saying, to your point, Brittany, that there's a sense of defeat. Like, okay, let's wash our hands and move on. Emily Turp says, Lady May seemed to think it was about the new beginning sign she got from God. Melanie says, I like Lady May too, in a different way than Bishop. Bishop is like the nurturer, but Lady May is usually who you send out when you need someone read. Yeah, but she didn't do the reading this time. Yeah. Burnmore says, Lady May lost her mind. Bishop is against it. Grace can give her a solution with biological daddy money. Gigi got the money. Bishop gonna offer it to Lady May. Will she come around? Ashley says, it's interesting that she went in with beast mode attitude, and just like her conversation with Karissa, she sees things from others' perspective and softens her attitudes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Lady May is not completely shut off when she learns something new that might, change her perspective. Emily says, I agree with Brittany and Season. I think it's about a new start. They're losing the church and almost starting over, and the house is such a big part of the past. Maybe she thinks it's a sign to let it go. I wouldn't have a problem with that if she was selling the house. But giving it away, well, that's a lot of money tied up in that house, Shell. Where are y'all going to live at? What you going to do? You ain't got no other something, nothing else going on. So I would agree. If she's okay, well, I'll sell it to you. Since you believe it should be yours so big. Go ahead and cash out, and then we can talk. But, I mean, there is a lot of baggage. It's baggage with her brother, Mac, right? That's kind of a dark cloud over her. It also, led to Faith's suicide because of that baggage with her brother. And so I could understand from her perspective of wanting to start over. And, but I don't think that they sold it that well. I don't think that they sold it that well as something that makes sense. But I understand if you look at all the other things that weren't really clear in that moment. Season, you have something?
Yeah, I have a theory. I think that I have a theory about how they're going to keep the house. So, what's his name? Noah was like, oh, I found the old ledger of the old groundskeeper who was white. And he kept referring to some Negro that was coming around. So I think the white groundskeeper found out that the house was going to go to the Negro and had the Negro killed. Thinking that he was going to get put on the wheel, but Mac ended up getting put on the wheel. That's what I think they're going to figure out or find out. That's my theory. The house is going to stay with them. Of course, there's going to be some shit back and forth with Rochelle, but in the end, I think they're going to come up with more of a motive for the white groundskeeper getting the black dude killed.
They're going to find out who that is.
I think that's definitely an interesting thing. I mean, they have all these pans in the fire. Is that how you say it?
Coals in the fire.
What is it?
Coals.
Coals in the fire, right?
No, coals.
Coals. They have all these coals. MD Turk says, come on, Caesar, with Perry Mason work.
I've been Perry Mason on HBO. It's cool.
Is it good? I might check that out.
Okay. Yeah, it's not bad.
So they have a lot of stuff that's going on, right? I mean, they have the groundskeeper thing, which came out of nowhere. Then they have the Shabazz aspect, the even lending. They have all these things that are supposed to somehow help get them out of this mess. So hopefully they're not just jerking us around with all these random plots that don't seem to be making any sense. Irons in the fire. Kevin, your hubby's in the comments on Facebook. Shout out to Kevin. It's irons in the fire. Okay, so we did not get it right. But Kevin, that sounds right what Kevin said. But yeah, so hopefully some of this pans out, right? Because otherwise, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But I did think it was interesting that Bishop went to Grace, who's always willing to help. Grace is the biggest team player on the whole show. Be clear. And Lady Mae did not want any parts of it. So again, that's that new beginning. It's still, sullied if they continue to go on this. But what changed things is Rochelle. Because once they showed up to that place and Rochelle was there, all bets were off. Because God
I giving my house to that woman.
That's it.
She said, oh no, bitch, you definitely not getting my house, hussy. So I think that's the end. I think that was the sign that Lady Mae needed. What do you think, Brittany?
Oh yeah, definitely. She's like, oh, that's what y'all doing? Because I think in some way she probably feels like that young woman is, doing what she needs to do and doing work for the Lord. And not saying that she's not, but she probably looked at her in a perfect light. And now it's like, oh, if we're doing a plot thing, I know how to do a plot. So rewind. Let's take that back. That's how I feel. She about to shut it down now. She's not playing with that.
Well, we also know that, Rochelle scammed them out of the money. She basically tried to have Jacob go to jail for embezzlement and the bishop. And so I definitely think that Rochelle definitely is a non-starter for them in terms of them just laying down and taking it. Let me go to some of the comments and then we'll finalize this. Burnmore says, white groundskeeper related to the folks that stole their church. Oh, that would be something interesting. Okay. Now, MD Terp says, I had a theory a long time ago that Noah killed Faith and made it look like a suicide to bring Grace back to town, but that fills it out. That makes no sense, MD Terp. I love you, but that makes no sense because Noah was engaged to a whole ass another person before Grace came back into town. And he was living his best, I'm going to settle with this chick life before Grace went and seduced him. So that definitely did not make sense to me. But anyways, looking for good trouble says Greenleaf has so much talent, but the writing often doesn't make good use of them. Season, I already know you agree. Ashley says, and who do y'all think she was waving to in that minivan? Because we didn't find out if it was confirmed that Macy is dead. Okay, that's how we will end it. But I will enter on that question. I'm just going to read a couple more comments and then we're going to revisit that question. Storyline is all over the place sometimes. Yes, Mae despises Rochelle. Lady Mae came out of that funk she was in real quick. Kaya says he will be on and popping next week. Yes. Macy's Rochelle brother. Okay. So final comments. Who is in that looked like a truck to me. Is it Macy that is pulling around with Rochelle, or is it completely unrelated? What do you guys think? Is Macy dead, or is Macy coming back to wreak more havoc in the Greenleaf world?
Wait, okay, so I thought that was her Uber. It was somebody in the car.
It could have been an Uber. That would make sense.
I still think Macy is alive because even Tasha was like, I never saw a body. I don't know what happened to him type stuff. So I think Macy is still alive, but I be missing stuff because I thought, oh, okay, her Uber here.
Yeah.
They did give a little preview of a slow pull up. So I was like, who is in the car? Like who?
Yeah. But it probably is an Uber. It probably is an Uber driver. Okay, yeah. Because you know what? Honestly, I don't need any more complications. We don't need another Basie. Right. Everybody's repeating. So Basie skank. We do not need a Basie skank thread. I think Rochelle coming back, even though I don't mind it because I always like LaToya Luckett in this character. I think that she will definitely snap them out of their rollover spirit that they've been in for the past 2 episodes. But I think Rochelle's enough. We do not need Basie and Rochelle. It's too much of a retread. Let's keep it moving.
Well, and something though. Woo.
Yeah, but I feel like he done already fake shot or tried to shoot Bishop. He done already did all kind of stuff. Like I think that is way tired, gone, played out. We don't need to see no more Basie game. But ladies, thank you so much for the super fun recap season. Thank you for the clinic.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, I'm always here to answer them.
Oh, for a fee though, we don't do for free. Video consultations.
I can tell you where to go. I can do all that. No.
I love y'all.
Yes. But we thank you. Like I said, I'm gonna start calling it Greenleaf Unfiltered.
Right.
Because it gets a little unfiltered sometimes. But we thank y'all for joining us. Join us again next Tuesday, 10:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be right here to break all this stuff down. I hope I forget who it was. Somebody said I'm confused. You watch episode and they said they were confused. I hope if you're still around, Linda. I don't know if Linda's still here, but if you're still here, I hope that you are
listen,
Linda. I hope that you are less confused about what's going on. And let's do this again, y'all. See y'all next week. Bye.